Let's talk about all natural / organic fertilizer. So we've all probably heard about manure spreaders and how the old time farmers would clean out their stalls and then use a ground driven or PTO driven manure spreader to spread that directly on their fields. So my daughter has recently started taking horse riding lessons, and I've actually been doing it with her, pre-coronavirus, of course. We've suspended all that for now. And I noticed that they had a pile of manure sitting out in front of the facility, and I asked them about it, and they said, take all you want. So I took it all, literally. And what I'm doing is over here, we have some mulch, which the state road trimmed high up branches over people's driveways and things like that on a road that's adjacent ours, and I asked them to dump it on our property. And so I've got mulch here, and then over here I've got a mixture, roughly 50-50, slightly higher horse manure mixed in together. And then following Joel Salatin, we had an animal die on the farm, so I actually put the animal in the compost pile as well. So this is going to sit for a few months, up to 6 months, and I keep repiling it and turning the pile. So what's going to happen next is these wood chips are going to get dumped over on top of this, and then I'm going to remix the pile. But I left them kind of spread out a little bit just so they could get nice and wet with the rain. We just had a rain come, and so I wanted these to get nice and wet before I threw them on this pile. It is working because as I've stirred the pile, it's hot, it steams, and so the long-term plan is to take that fertilizer, and you can't see it too well in this video. Right out there you can see kind of a brownish gold spot. This farm had, I don't know, I'm gonna say maybe 10% broom sedge in the hayfield when we bought it 2 years ago. So part of my strategy is to use the all natural fertilizer and soil building to bring this back to more fertile soil. Now there are sections on it, there's no broom sedge and the grass is really strong, but the biggest field, which has been cut for years without anyone putting stuff back on it, is in need of some nutrients. So we're going to use this horse manure coupled with the wood chips to give us some decent biomass. And I know a lot of people will use about a 10% nitrogen source, 10 to 30% nitrogen source like manure or greens or whatever when they make fertilizer. But for me, the old timers used to use straight manure, and they would spread it out on their fields. The animals drop their manure on the fields. So for me, all I really wanted to do was sort of boost the volume a little bit and give some more biomass into the soil. I'll show you a video now of the manure spreaders that I'm working with. I actually bought one, and then a friend of the family heard that I was looking for them, and they had one that was virtually the same exact model, slightly different, that they gave me. And I'll show you that and how I plan to get this stuff spread onto the field. And this pile is not going to do the whole field, but I'm going to concentrate on the areas where the soil is the worst. And then hopefully within a couple years of doing this, I'll start to see some good results. So that's my process for creating a good manure mix to put back on the field. Again, I could have used straight manure like the old timers did, but I wanted to give it a little bit more boost in terms of the organic matter going back into the soil. So there you have it.